come my result is this poor? I studied well and the exam was very simple, but my result is saying otherwise. In fact, this cannot be my result. Hello guys, this is the story of many Nigerian Jambites after seeing their Jamb scores, and if they are not properly informed, they will pass into self-denial, depression, and in worst case scenario, suicide. In this video, we'll cover whether our Jamb scores actually mutilated, my first Jamb experience, and what your response should be after you've seen your results. Stay tuned. We have to understand that Nigeria is still a developing country, so the modern advancements used in taking exams may not be as top-notch as we expect it to be. For instance, you could get options for a question which is totally different from the question itself. I met a 2022 Jambite who complained that she was given English language comprehension questions without an actual comprehension passage, and Jamb may not take that glitch into consideration, and as such, those candidates with such questions may stand a chance of scoring less than their mates who didn't experience such glitches. So, what then? Well, we can do very little about these glitches. On a personal note, all I do is just to pray. Very, very important. And prayers actually helped me for all the Jambs I took. All of them, I didn't experience such glitches. I also believe that Jamb administration is working both tooth and nail to make ends meet. But until then, we just have to do our own part and leave the rest to God. With that being said, the standard of the UTME conducted by Jamb over the years has greatly improved. Many measures have been put in place to ensure that the UTME is as standard as any world-ranked standardized test is, and as such, vices like score mutilation, score upgrade, score interchange has greatly been curbed. So, 98% of the times, your score is actually your performance. I don't mean to sound harsh, but the chances that your score was mutilated is very slim, especially if you answered all your questions and submitted before your time completely elapsed. When I wrote my first Jamb, then I was in SS3. I had started preparing for Jamb exams from my SS1. I read essential biology, understanding chemistry, new school physics, and A to Z English from the very first page to the last page. I had acquainted myself with one-time success past questions, and I was in quotes more than prepared for the exams. I even joked whether was this the Jamb exam they used to hype. The questions are too cheap, I exclaimed. I told my parents if I should score less than 369, then Jamb should be sued to court. Well, it took another 2 to 3 months before I saw my Jamb score, and to my greatest surprise, it was 100 marks less than what I boasted of. I went into self-denial, depression, and even the thought of suicide came because I couldn't get my head around the fact that I scored that low. Even after all the sleepless nights of long hours of study, I felt like it was the end of the world for me. Also, bearing in the mind that there was no way UNN would give me admission into its medical school with such score. And just like I was, it may be you now soaking yourself in tears like I did and blaming Jamb for their incompetency. However, truth be told, the allegation and tantrums that you throw at Jamb will not change the score. And if you are like me, that wanted to get into his dream course, but your Jamb score is just too low, then here is what to do. First, you've got to encourage yourself and draw yourself up from this law. I learned from my experience that worry will not solve the problem. It will only worsen the problem, delaying the solution. Then you have to know the kind of student you are. If you are such that lack motivation when you are outside the school environment, then you should consider picking a change of course form. Hear me out here. So let's say you're a medicine aspirant. You should change to a less competitive course like basic medical science or med lab, pharmacy, or dentistry, as the case may be, depending on your Jamb score. Now, the reason for this is to avoid being sent to courses away from the line of your dream course. Imagine being sent to mathematics from medicine. Federal school do that a lot. I didn't know this and I was sent to botany. You can then transfer to your course of choice from the less competitive course. Schools like UNN do make provisions for that, but for schools like Uniben, it is in your best interest to rewrite Jamb because the slot for medicine is always filled. In my subsequent videos, I will go over how to manage your temporal course while preparing for Jamb, which was a path I actually took before getting admitted into my dream course of study. Finally, if you're a scholar, sit down and review your study pattern. Are they actually active learning processes? You could check out my video on tips on how to score high in Jamb, link in the description below. After you've reviewed your study pattern and made necessary adjustments, you should start now to prepare for your post-UTME exam. I don't see the need to wait. You can give yourself like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to use to chill out. Use the break to get all the questions and materials you need and start your intense study. And even after the post-UTME, if you are not giving your dream course of study, don't give up. I have a friend who had 304 and 71 as aggregate. He was transferred to veterinary medicine. He rejected the admission, started all over and scored 335 and 94 in his UTME and post-UTME respectively, and is now a medical student. Bottom line is, don't give up. You can do it. Part of the reason I started Focus is because while I was a botany student, I saw students who were frustrated because they found themselves where they didn't want to be, and this is largely because they were not properly informed. We at Focus are here to help you fulfill your dreams, and if you've liked this video and deemed this content helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and like, and just to make more content like this. Till the next one, I remain Dabere Pastor, and this is Focus.